was the worst altcoin dump that I've experienced in my trading journey. I want to speak about it. I want to speak about the Bitcoin drop at 101. Where is Bitcoin sitting when it comes to bull market territories? Why did altcoins drop so aggressively, and what does this look like for the rest of the year? And I want to speak about my own experiences throughout the last couple of days. What parts of my accounts got blown up, what kind of survived, and where am I going to next? So guys, I am here on a Sunday. I do want to talk about it. It's one of the hardest events that's happened. It could be a catalyst to the biggest run of our lives, but we have to get through this patch, which has been quite difficult. So let's go. What's happening? If you're brand new to the channel, get the subs up. Remember, I do have a show on crypto banter, but I am now moving here full time. So if you guys have a look over here, we've just started up the channel. I will be moving here permanently in the next couple of weeks. So sub up, join the fam. We are a family that has fought wars together. I do think, though, this has been one of the hardest wars to fight. You know, I was sitting on Friday and I kind of saw 𝗬𝗎 go from $3.5 to 50 cents in an hour. Insane. I saw Dogecoin drop up to 60%. I saw Cardano drop up to 60%. And I'm sitting here laughing because it was absolutely disgusting. You know, there's two parts of me with crypto. There's a part that I love because it changed my life and it gave me a lot of opportunities. And it's actually quite funny. When I started my journey, guys, I started on the COVID crash. So I just got scammed. And then I thought, okay, let me try trading. And it was about a week before it was the COVID crash. And this reminds me quite similar of the COVID crash. The difference, though, is COVID crashed the markets. Bitcoin is already a little bit in a bear cycle. It wasn't looking so healthy. So this was the last kind of drop before we started going parabolic to the upside. We did see a massive alt season run after that. Where here, we were sitting right at the tops, right? We had Bitcoin close to 120. We had altcoins, total 3, sitting very close to all-time highs. We actually just broke through the all-time highs last week. And here comes a enormous trap. And I sit here and I just say, it's, for me, I love crypto, it changed my life. But secondly, I don't like this part of crypto. The manipulation drop that we saw, you know, the first thing is Bitcoin dropped, but it didn't drop anywhere near as strong as the altcoins. ETH dropped, Solana dropped. It didn't drop anywhere as near as the altcoins. The altcoins that have smaller market caps, smaller part of the pie, they decide to collapse and drop up to 70% in a very short period of time. For me, I remember when I joined with the COVID crash, it didn't make sense because I even saw Chainlink drop to a cent and these type of things. A couple of months later, it made sense, right? It was the altcoin capitulation that turns it into a altcoin bull market. And maybe this is the same type of thing. Because for me, why not Bitcoin? Why not drop Bitcoin to 70K if this was such a big event, right? We have Trump came and talk about tariffs. We're now hearing rumors that maybe he's going to negotiate. It's probably very likely at some point. Again, doesn't matter. I focus very much on the charts. But this hard period will pass. It will pass. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a transition of those that actually use this event and truly catch the next run and change their journey, and those that are kind of going to quit. I was a person that was out of a job and very low capital, and I didn't quit in the last capitulation, and it changed my whole life. So just a little hint there to not quit. But let's quickly speak about my journey. So I am very much a leverage trader. I very much do tend to take on too much risk at times. And I saw a lot of this in the beginning of 2025, where we had a strong start of the year within Bitcoin and altcoins. I started building some big leverage positions with a decent sized part of my portfolio. At some point, up to 20-30% of my portfolio was in leverage. And then we had like a 6-month very hard period. And a lot of these positions, I ended up losing up to 80-90% of them. And it really showed me that I'm incredible to the upside, a lot of growth, but to the downside, I tend to wipe accounts pretty quickly and take a big loss. So what I did obviously a couple of months ago was I kind of pivoted, right? I made myself look and remember that we are going for a high time frame move here, right? That's what we're busy with. We're busy looking at how can we catch a bull market, which told me that volatility is going to increase as prices start to get bigger, right? As more money comes in crypto, volatility is going to move. And we can see now, look at the pumps, look at the dumps, right? Which means your margin for error when it comes to risky capital, you can do very well, but one big loss can put you in a big problem. And that's where I kind of just started shifting my money around. And I basically said, you know what? I'm going 90% in spot, in long term, no leverage, no nothing. I'm going to buy 5 of the best tokens in each narrative. I'm going to look to buy them in good levels. If you guys have not watched my 2 previous videos, I dropped one on Friday as the drop happened, but still very much valid, right? Teaching you how to buy tokens in the long term in the A and the B phase. So I just made sure that my entire portfolio was A and B phase buys and 90% was in. And then what I said is, that's my engine. That is money that I can't afford to get liquidated, right? I can go in losses at points, but I know they recover. They're in good tokens, these type of things. Then I said I put turbos, right? And turbos for me are little things that I can attach to the portfolio with less money to help me get more growth to the upside. So now I still did a little bit of long-term leverage, right? Which was 2x's, 3x's, try catch them on a really big dump, build them slowly, right? Get that going. That's 2-3%. I started the bot strategy. I built bots. For me, it was one of the safest plays. I still think they are, even though a lot of them got smashed. I'll speak about my losses now in a second of what happened. Okay, but I had the bots going with 2-3%. And then I have a trading account where markets are moving nicely. I trade that money, right? I don't trade all the time. I rather trade when the market is trending and not ranging. Ranging is where it gets tough to trade unless you're in and out. I don't have time to stare at the charts all the time. But when it comes to the ranging, or the trending, when things start moving in direction, that's a fun time to trade. Just teach you a very valuable lesson that trading is not profitable all the time. It's probably profitable 20-30% of the month, right? So I rather took my time to trade on those. And that actually saved me a lot on Friday. But what happened? Okay, so on my 90% of the portfolio, it's down. There's no doubt about it. It's 20-30% down, but not liquidated. Right, so 90% of my portfolio is still in the market, where previously I'd get knocked out 40-50%. My bots got blown up completely. Right now, again, I still think it's one of the best strategies in there. I would never have been able to predict a 80 or 70% drop on specific altcoins. Like that, for me, the most manipulated event I've seen in a long time. Like crazy. So a lot of my bots got hit. At $150,000 portfolio here, it's now sitting on 43,000. I had 29 bots. A lot of them got liquidated, which sucks. Again, however, I'm going to build a game plan on what to kind of do next. A few of them survived, which was cool, but long story short, got smashed. My leverage accounts, 0. My long-term leverage accounts, 0. Right, so this also got smashed as well. And a sad one for me as well is I was running a margin with my mother. My mother also trades with me. And we run a portfolio together. And we've been building a margin for 18 months to 2 years to buy our house cash and a couple of other things as well. And that went to 0 last night. So my mom just sitting and just going through it. That was tough. That was 2 years of hard work. And some coins just went down too hard. And that was a hard one. So guys, again, like I also just want to say sorry to anyone that got hit by this. I don't think anyone deserved it. I really don't. I think every long altcoin trader in the world got smashed. A very small percentage survived. So it was just something that kind of happened. But nonetheless, then what happened was I had a leverage account. I started trading. I'll show you guys my Friday action over here. Let's go through. I was actually trading a little bit now. Let's just see here. So here we go. Here's the trading action, right? So let's make this bigger so you can see. So I was building my positions like I normally do. I thought market was going to pop. And then the first drop happened. I got stopped. Then the drop happened. I entered. And then I saw this thing was keeping drop. So I exited. Long story short, I took I think it was a $30,000 account. By the time it got here, I was on 2K. And I was like, what is going on? And I just sat. And I remember it was on a 15-minute time frame. I was out around here. And I just watched this candle go. And I was like, and I saw no bounces. It's quite weird, guys. It kind of seemed like there was no buys in the order books. Kind of seemed like every altcoin buy on the order books were just gone for a couple of seconds and price could just drop through everything. I didn't see any life. Then at some point I saw a little bite and I went on a 5x leverage. There was a little bit more, 5 or 6x leverage with around $2,700 to $3,000. And I got it. right? Back up. Long story short, I've been playing around over here, but my account is back at 25,000. So I've lost 20% of this account. I'm considering the drop, but it just shows how if you bought the dip, how quickly you went into profits. So to bring it all together, guys, what happened to me was I basically lost 7 to 8%. Gone. Liquidated. I won't get it back. My main portfolio is down around 30%, and I still have a leverage account. So the important thing I'm going to jump onto the charts now, just go through a couple things with you guys. But the important thing now is I'm giving myself a day or two to build a new strategy again, right? Which is very important. This I know is going to form many millionaires in the future, this dump, the specific dump that happened here. When you see these big catalysts and these big drops, they tend to reset and tend to turn. This is a capitulation, then all of a sudden we start to, like every major pump we've seen in a long time, there was a big dump first before it started to rally, right? So I'm giving myself a couple of days. I will be launching bots again, but I need to look at the portfolio now. Am I going to sell 1%, start building a couple turbos, no major rush. But a big thing for me, guys, I didn't get liquidated more than 50%. Previously, I get smashed. So a little hint, make sure your engine can survive anything like this in the future. Yes, I've lost on gains at the moment, but I haven't got liquidated, right? My turbos got blown up, but with one little bounce again from the market, I can take a little bit from the long term. I can build turbos again, right? So 10% I use as turbos to help me get to the upside. They're a little bit more risky. When big events happen like this, they can get smashed. But it was, me 7-8%. I sit here today and I'm like, whew, I dodged a huge bullet. Even though I'm down, I get to go again, which is huge, guys. So just by portfolio structuring and playing the game a little bit smarter, you can survive these things. Therefore, you have a chance for the upside. Because again, if you bought any dips or even now, what will come at any point, could be massive opportunities. So let's jump into a couple of things. Obviously, the Bitcoin dump was strong, but not anywhere near the altcoins. I just want to show you guys the important thing here on Bitcoin is we didn't lose the trend line, which is the main trend I don't want us to lose. This for me is kind of like bull market over on Bitcoin, this trend. You can only but see we dropped into it. A quick one to also just see this candle is still very bearish. So even though we're getting a bit of buy up, it's very likely in the next week we start coming down again. Bitcoin could easily come back down to these areas. Is a little bit lower, maybe even at 101. It might also not come down to the lows, but definitely we should come down and fill a bit of this liquidity. Buying happened here, but it feels that no one's going to trust anything right now. So any push up in the market now, it's very likely it's being sold into, right? It's probably getting sold into, probably a lot of people shorting the markets. There's not a lot of confidence in altcoins right now. So to just go up straight away, I don't think it's going to happen. I do think we are going to come down. And what I think is going to happen is when we start to come down, we're going to get a lot of big buying, right? And I mean big buying by not retail. I mean that this was a sign that something could be sparking up and also ready to go, because why capitulate just the altcoins, right? Which was quite interesting. So for me, it's not a straightaway recovery, but I do think we're going to come down to test the liquidity. So if we come here to Bitcoin, I do think there's a possibility we come back down over here. And it's the same with altcoins, right? Look at altcoins. We just broke through the all-time highs. We came down and we actually hit the momentum trend line, which is the bull market trend line. Perfect, right? So that's crazy. So that shows us we're not in a bear market, but look how crazy that brought down. This is the same thing, guys. A candle like this is bearish for me. It's not a bullish candle. Again, we will see in a week. And the exciting thing is tomorrow I'm live on this channel and I'm here. So we're going to rock, which is going to be great. We're going to fight this entire war together. I'm telling you today, all you have to do is not quit. Doesn't matter what's left, wear that, not quit, make changes, get up again and fight, right? Things will change. Things will happen. Okay. So again, with altcoins here, very likely over the next week. This might take a little bit longer. I'll speak about this now, but we should drop down and come down to these areas. I don't think we're going to go anywhere as low, but I think halfway of where we are now and there, and then we start pushing up. I still think there's an alt season. I still think there's a massive rally. Look at this. Look at the Bitcoin dominance. Remember, Bitcoin dominance is telling us what percentage is in Bitcoin. Look at that push up when things got scary. Look at the moment that there's a bounce. Look what happens. Look where we are on the trend line. There's still very much this. And it actually reminded me before we saw the last alt season, right? We saw a big run here where alts got strong, then Bitcoin got strong, and we had this wick here. And after that, alt season happened. So it's not wouldn't be a full surprise if this is what triggered alt season, right? Over there. Now, I want to quickly speak about timing, guys. I don't think we're in the same scenario as COVID. COVID, you could see we were already in a bear territory. See where we were, right? Total 3 is now here, as well as Bitcoin. If we go back to Bitcoin's time here too, Bitcoin was sitting here at 10,000, it was halfway. So I don't think it was full bull territory, but we had a drop, and it was aggressive drop, right? This drop where Bitcoin fell from 8,000 to 3,800. I think it was in a day, okay? That took, just to show you guys here, that took anywhere around 3 months to recover, right? 3 to 4 months. Then after that, biggest bull market of our lives. Okay, again, the only difference that I see now, guys, is I don't think we are in a bear territory. So I think this is going to recover a little bit quicker once we are done with the lows. Okay, but the important thing here was to see what altcoins did in that time, right? So altcoins also recovered. You see this, but look how much stronger they recovered to Bitcoin, right? And look what happened to alts after that. We have not had the parabolic run over here too. Nonetheless, 2 to 3 months. Right? So again, we've got to take it week by week. I think this one could be quicker, but just don't be surprised for another week or two if this market's still red and it actually is going to come down and test those levels again. Right? Come down, test the levels of where we dropped to. This is by far the biggest altcoin drop we've seen, I think, in history. Right? Crazy. So drop like this, and then from there, I do honestly believe we're going to start sparking up. When it comes to alts, this is Solana. So Sol drops straight to the bull trend line. So again, something like Sol, if it comes down, I'm still highly bullish on Sol. But for me, I never thought I'd get entries here. So these are, I would say, huge opportunities if we get another dip off to load up on the long term. I think the main thing here is to just not, if you got smashed with leverage, don't go in with leverage again now. Just take a breather, breathe, recalibrate. We change the structure, we change the systems, and we go again. I also want to show you guys here that a lot of these trends, there's a couple of alts that did lose trends. So like, for example, AVAX. So where we are right now, it's just reminding me, don't FOMO in right now. If you did want to buy some more, a little bit more downside, then we get going. Guys, for me, I still see us having a run. The only thing this can maybe change is timing, right? I was expecting into December, altcoins breaking highs are going crazy. Anywhere now to December, Q4. Maybe it's moved to January. We shall see. Nonetheless, I still think there's a lot of money to be made from here back to the altcoin highs, right? And I still think there is a massive opportunity. So the plan here, right, is I'm going to take the next day. I'll be here tomorrow with a live show. Let's see where things close and where we're at. And then we're building the next strategies of what do we do next. I will be doing, once I've recalibrated bots again and a couple of low leverages, but I'm so happy with what I just did. For me, it's a massive success. To have a drop like that and to only get liquidated 7%, very good. So I'm actually going to try and make that even smaller for the next time. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trading some DEXs and getting some airdrops, because I think that's a lot of free money we can get from the market, and they do very well. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to turn from this negative into a positive, and that's the important thing to do today. You can feel your emotions. You can feel everything right now. But there's a certain point you have to close the book chapter, okay, and you have to let go of it, which is one of the hardest things. But I promise you, when things go red and they go crazy like this, there's a new opportunity and a new journey for you to create and to go on. But you need to accept it, see it, and take the next step forward. You don't know the next 100 steps. All you got to do is take the next step. And the next step is to say, you know what? This is what I'm worth. This is what I have left. I'm going again. I'll see you guys then tomorrow. Okay, and let's turn this into something incredible. Lots of love, guys. Have a fantastic Sunday. I'm sorry for what happened. I really am. Just be here tomorrow and we keep going. Much love.